What's going on, knuckleheads? This is the Fighters Rep, and this is our Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal UFC 251 post-fight live reaction discussion. The forum, is open to anybody who wants to join. Just gonna go through these fights. I kind of want to say that it was a great card all in all, but I think it was capped off with a boring and lackluster main event. And, all I can say is it's the sports, it's really the sport's fault. I mean, and what I mean by that is, wrestling has become such a huge part of MMA. It's such an integral part of MMA that, that's what you're going to get. Typically these wrestling dominant fighters, this is what they're going to give you. When all else fails, they can't throw hands. It's just going to be, wrestling all night long. And, I don't know what to say. I mean, this is part of the reason, and all due respect to MMA and all due respect to the wrestlers, 100%. I respect what they do, and I have a lot of I have a lot of admiration for wrestling and what they put their bodies through and so on and so forth. But it's not conducive to sports entertainment unless you're picking people up and dropping them on their heads, or unless you're Habib Nurmagomedov, who's the only kind of grappler that I've seen that I'm entertained and enjoy seeing. It's just a boring aspect of the sport that we're all just going to have to deal with. So, I appreciate you guys joining me. Tael Box says, Dominio de Usman. Usman ganó la pelea. Tael Box. New Media Taken L says, wrestling is just boring in MMA. Masvidal could have made it excited standing up. Cal Blundell says, hello, Usman fought a smart fight. Yes, not entertaining, but smart. Absolutely smart. I'm not saying it wasn't smart. It's 100% smart. It's just the way MMA is, the dominant wrestler, I think is typically going to win. And again, it's why I promote kickboxing. It's why I love kickboxing, pure striking here at FightersRep. And it's why, it's a sport I prefer. But, it is what it is. I enjoyed tonight's card. Other than that, main event, which I thought was really boring. I will say, in the Usman-Jorge Masvidal fight, I actually felt like Masvidal won those first two rounds. I thought he was busier. I thought he landed more kicks and punches. And then I just thought he kind of got wiped out the last three rounds. But, I thought he definitely won the first round. I thought the second one was close, but I would have given it to him. And then I thought Usman won the last three rounds. Now, that being said, I don't see how the judges scored it 50-45. I mean, that means he completely shut out Jorge Masvidal. Two of the judges scored it 50-45, which I think is just absolutely nuts, man. That's horrific that any judge would think that. But, let's kind of get into the card. I mean, I want to start off with the main card where I started watching was the women's strawweight fight between Jessica Andrade and Rose Namajunas. I thought it was a close fight, but, definitely Rose Namajunas avenged her loss in that fight. I thought her movement was fantastic. The entire time I was kind of waiting for Andrade to pick her up and slam her on her head, like what happened to Rose last time. But, it looked like that wasn't going to happen today. That didn't happen today. Rose came through, looked good, but she took a beating, man. She took a real beating. I mean, Rose's face was all tore up after the fight, and you definitely don't play combat sports. So, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Let's move on to the co-main event. Title was on the line in the Bantamweight division, the title that Henry Cejudo vacated, as we all know, and it was Peter Yan taking on the legendary Jose Aldo. Now, this fight I thought was extremely exciting and competitive for the first few rounds, although I did think that Yan was kind of getting the better of the action. I would have given him the first round. I felt like Aldo kind of came out stronger in the second round. It was a very tit-for-tat fight. There wasn't a lot of movement. They were just standing in front of each other, being very defensive, very cautious, and looking for an opening. It was an interesting fight. It was almost like watching one of those old-school UFC fights, one of the early UFC fights where the guys just stood in front of each other and made sudden moves and waited for the next guy to make a mistake and attack. I thought Yan was more crisp on the feet. They didn't really go to the ground, so he was just more crisp in general. The younger, faster, stronger guy. Aldo's a beast, but as time wore on, it got into the fifth round. Peter Yan got the TKO. Now I will say this. This was one of the most horrific stoppages, and I feel like it's getting played out, me saying that, right? It's getting played out, me saying that the stoppage was horrific, because I feel like time and time again, man, we're dealing with these really bad stoppages. This was a bad stoppage in that it took way too long. It took way too long for that referee to step in there and pull Peter Yan off of Jose Aldo. Not only was he on top of Aldo in a dominant position, pounding on him, there was blood all over the floor. Aldo was like this in almost a pool of his own blood. It was one of the most disturbing sights I have seen in combat sports. Let's put it this way. If there was ever anybody who was going to go into the field of, lobbying to eliminate MMA as a sport, they would take that, that finishing sequence and the amount of punishment that Aldo took with that referee not stopping that fight. They would take that, and that would be the prime example in their argument as to why MMA is human cockfighting, as so many would say, because that was just ruthless, man. The beating that Aldo took to Yan before that fight was stopped was so absolutely egregious and unnecessary that, I don't even know what to say about it. I'm actually excited. I'm excited to see what Dana White says about that result. So, maybe something can happen. I don't know. If you're that referee, you've got to be thinking about something else. Mom's making stovetop. My wife is cheating on me. Did I leave the stove on? Is the oven on in the house? You're not there. You're not there if you're that referee in that Aldo Yan fight, allowing a guy to take that much damage. That's just absolutely insane, you guys. And I said it on our Facebook page, on the FightersRep Facebook page, or perhaps on my personal one. I can't even remember right now. Just be sure you subscribe to it. I said to myself, I wrote, is this guy waiting for Jose Aldo's brain to slide out of his head to stop this fight? It was outrageous. It was outrageous, the amount of punishment that Jose Aldo said. I also said that, as a kickboxing promoter myself, as the owner of FightersRep, I would jump into the ring. Now, luckily, I don't deal with this because I got Dan Bamstell refereeing my fights, and he's not going to let that shit fly. But I would jump into the ring, okay, and I would stop the fight myself if that's happening. I don't need a body. I don't want a body. Deontay Wilder says he wants a body. I don't want a body. I don't want a body. So, that's something that I can't deal with. I just can't deal with it. I don't understand how that happened. I don't understand how they allowed that much damage to go on. I mean, I don't know. Am I crazy? I mean, you guys tell me. I saw Jose Aldo lying in a pool of his own blood, holding his face like this. I mean, he's defenseless. Getting the shit kicked out of him. Getting the absolute fucking hell beat out of him, excuse my French, by a young, fast, hungry Peter Yan who's there, and he's not going to stop. Peter Yan's not going to stop. Peter Yan's in there. He's in there to win that shit. That is a ruthless beast of a Russian fighter, and he's in there to win. And he's not going to stop. He's doing what a fighter's supposed to do. Keep going, keep going. And he kept on going. And this fucking referee was, smoking a cigarette, thinking about how he's going to pay for his daughter's Sweet 16 or her quinceañera, and just allowing Jose Aldo's career was changed tonight. I had a cousin hit me up on Facebook. He posted on my Facebook page. He said that could have been the end of Jose Aldo's career, and I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree with that. There's a real chance there that Jose Aldo's career was ended tonight by a very late stoppage. I mean, he could have still been a guy that fights and makes some money and is a factor in that division. But I don't know. After a beating like that, being beaten within an inch of his life, I don't think so. So that's my thoughts on that fight. You guys can leave your comments. Tell me what you think about that. I think we need to go on to the next before I upset myself here and I end up being one of these COVID sensitive people. The co-main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. I went 4 for 5 tonight. I picked all the winners except the Masvidal fight. And I picked the winners, and I picked Volkanovski to win because I thought he was going to win. By the way, smash the like button. 20-something of you in here, 2 likes. Come on, give me some love over here and hit the subscribe button. I'm over here in California, running the only professional kickboxing promotion in the whole state. Glory just went under. The world's economy's taking a shit. Show your boys some love and at least subscribe to the fucking channel below. And hit the like button. Don't be a dick. So, Volkanovski, right? I picked Volkanovski to win. But here, I'm an honest guy. I don't bullshit you. And if you've been on this channel, I'm not going to bullshit you. I didn't think Volkanovski won that fight. I picked Volkanovski to win. I wanted him to win because I wanted to be validated and to say, hey, I picked him to win. But guess what? Volkanovski lost that fight, even though the judges gave it to him. I don't know how the hell the judges gave it to him. Okay. But they gave it to him. I thought it was really clear that Max Holloway won those first 3 rounds. I thought maybe the 4th round was a toss-up, but maybe give it to Volkanovski. I actually, if I were judging that 4th round, I would probably have it a tied round. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a slight advantage even for Holloway for his aggressiveness. I don't know. But absolutely 100% the first 3 rounds go to Max Holloway. And if you score it that way, there's just no way Volkanovski can win that fight. And I need to understand why it is time and time again. And if you guys, again, follow us on Facebook at FightersRep, Twitter, whatever. Everything is FightersRep, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I put on Facebook, I wrote, before they read out the decision, and a bunch of people commented, I wrote, I feel a robbery coming on because this shit has become so predictable. The stench of incompetence has become so predictable. There's so much fucking incompetence with you primates that are judging these fights. And I call everybody, all humans, I call primates, because we're all fucking chimpanzees or whatever we are in the end. There's so much incompetence when it comes to the judging of these fights. And I said to myself, this is too fucking predictable, man. This guy is going to get robbed tonight. This guy's going to get robbed tonight. These referees are scared to take the belt off of a champion. That's something that I've determined, after 30-something years of living on this planet and watching these fights with you primates and humanoids. I've learned that people are afraid of responsibility and accountability. And the reason that they will not give that fucking belt to Max Holloway is because they are afraid. They are afraid to take it away from the champ. That's why they say you got to beat the champ. You got to beat the champ to take the belt off of him. No, it shouldn't be that way. It's a sport, and the winner's the winner. But they say you got to beat the champ because people are too weak to hold themselves accountable and to say, I'm making this decision that I believe is right, and I don't care if it ruffles feathers of a guy who's currently the champion. I don't care if it upsets the apple cart. But people are too afraid to upset the apple cart, so much so that they're willing to keep the status quo. Even if the status quo is wrong, it's safer. Let's just let the champ hold the belt. And that's what happened tonight. And that's what keeps happening. That's what keeps happening. This is human error at its finest, the epitome, the distilled manifestation of human error was tonight when Max Holloway won 3 out of 5 rounds clearly, hurting the champ. And these fucking primates said, nope, we're too afraid. We're too afraid to take the belt from this guy. Wrest it away from him and hand it to the next guy. And it's a travesty because are they going to give Holloway a third fight for his title? I mean, look, it would have been an incredible rubber match had Holloway, gotten the proper decision, gotten the right decision, which would have been a win for him and him earning his titles back. It would have been an absolutely incredible rubber match. It would have been, one for Volkanovski, one for Holloway, and the one for Holloway would have been him winning the first 3 rounds, Volkanovski adjusting, maybe winning the 5th and maybe the 4th. And it would have set up an incredible rubber match. But instead, these chicken shit judges, thinking about stovetop with the other fucking referee who wanted to see Jose Aldo get brained. He wanted to see this man get brained on the fucking octagon. He wanted brains on the fucking octagon. Somebody tell me, am I crazy tonight? I mean, am I crazy? Am I losing it? Maybe this quarantine has got me going nuts. This is bananas, man. And then, whatever, great fight gets ruined by a fucking stupid decision. And then Jorge Masvidal comes out. A guy who, because of these bullshit negotiations and they're trying to fuck him over, is forced to take the fight on 6 days' notice and lose 20 pounds. Mind you, it took me 12 years of marriage to gain 20 pounds. This fucker's losing it in 6 days, eating pizza in Rome. But never mind that. So this guy, goes in there against Usman, right? And just gets wet toweled. The guy just hugs him for 5 rounds. Now, I personally, I was looking at the fight. I saw it. The first round for sure I thought went to Masvidal. I even thought the second round went to Masvidal. I would have even given Masvidal the second round. From there on out, he got dominated. And, I'll say this. I started this off saying that, wrestling, is an integral part of MMA, but it's boring as fuck. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Unless you're picking a guy up and slamming him down the way Rampage Jackson did, or Khabib when he was, suplexing Mother Flowers, or Habib when he takes you down and just beats the shit out of you. Unless you're doing that with your wrestling or combined with your wrestling, nobody wants to see this shit. Nobody wants to see it. Okay? And I wrote on my Facebook, I saw it 3-2 for Usman, but I wouldn't pay to watch that fucking guy. And all respect to Kamaru Usman, listen, I even wrote again on Facebook, I'm a Miami guy. I love Masvidal, but I also have a great affinity for the African fighters. I got a great affinity for them. I love to see them do well. You know what I mean? But that shit, I can't take it. That shit, I can't take. That style, he was literally, he would bend over. He would bend over and go like this, and grab Masvidal's leg. And it was like a gentle grab, and then he'd go, oh, God. I mean, this is what you fucking people, this is what you fucking people pay to watch. He goes, he doesn't want to fight. He goes and grabs his face in the crotch, just like Masvidal said. This delicate bullshit. He grabs his leg. I said, oh, what the fuck, man. Oh, God. So anyway, he does that. He does that for 4 or 5 rounds. He's just hunching. He's hunching. Remember the hunching you used to do? This is only if you went to public school, because you probably didn't hunch if you went to private school. But if you went to public school, specifically Miami-Dade County public school system or any other, relatively hood public school system, you hunched. You went to the playground, you found your favorite girl, you guys consensually hunched each other. You did this. And that is what, and it was a consensual hunching. Consensual hunching. And that's what we had. That's what we had this evening. We had 5 rounds of consensual, erotic, sweaty hunching. And, there aren't enough jungle gyms on the planet. There aren't enough jungle gyms and steel crosswire fences on the planet for the amount of hunching that I saw tonight. And, I can't pay for hunching. I've always been a guy that was very confident in my ability to attract the opposite sex. Or, if you're into the same sex, that's fine. It's 2020. I mean, you got to do you. But regardless, this is about confidence. And I've always felt like I'm too confident in my own abilities to attract the opposite sex, where I don't have to, hunch somebody on the jungle gym by force for 5 rounds. And that was horrific, So, I'm gonna read the comments here, and see what you guys are talking about here, and any questions you guys have, let me know. By the way, Foxhound is a new sponsor. Follow them on Foxhound on Instagram. Smash the like button. Don't be a huncher. Smash the like button and the subscribe button. Okay. We're the only pro kickboxing promotion in California. Glory Kickboxing just currently took a shit on itself. And we may be the only, big-time kickboxing promotion at some point pretty soon unless they decide to restructure and come back. So show some love. You guys will love our fights. We got the best rule set. It's none of this hunching and grabbing. There's no grappling allowed at FightersRep. It's stand and bang. It's all striking. And you can watch our fights for free right here on YouTube. And they're fantastic with some of the best talent on earth here in Southern California. So let's see here what you guys are talking about. I don't find wrestling boring, says Cal Blundell. Okay. I'm glad you feel that way about it, Cal. I thought it was boring as hell. Raw Dog says, Masvidal didn't have the cardio. He wasn't eating properly, training consistently. Then a brutal weight cut, 6 days notice. We did bring that up. But, even if he has a great weight cut and he trains, and he's just going to have to deal with that wrestling somehow. And I don't know if he's going to be able to. Maybe he can. Maybe he can. We're going to have to go back and see. New media takings L's. Says boxing is better than MMA. Sometimes. Boxing, you don't have the best fighting the best like you do in MMA tonight. That's what I appreciate about tonight's card. That Holloway and Volkanovski fight was such high-level shit. Two of the best guys going at it. But then those goofy-ass judges, and it spiraled from there. It spiraled from there like a bad drunk. Can't complain about wrestling. That's Usman's special. He breaks people with his wrestling. I can complain, Cal Blundell. All respect to you, brother. But I can complain. I was crying watching that shit. Shit was horrible. He says, sad what happened to Aldo. I agree with that. That was horrific what they did to Aldo, and I already went in on the ref about that. I'm sure Dana's got some. I hope Dana's got something to say about that. He typically speaks his mind. We'll see. Georgie Bagan says Max got robbed 100%. Roger Weatherman says Max 100%. Hey guys, if you're new here, subscribe. Every Monday at 7, we go live with Manny Robles, one of the greatest boxing trainers in history. We go live, and he's actually cornering Michaela Mayer on Tuesday. So we'll be live with him Monday at 7 p.m., and we do that every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific. Then every Friday, we got an interview with some of the baddest fighters right here live in California. We got some of the best fighters in the world here. So we got an interview every Friday, and then we put up clips and stuff on Wednesdays as well. So please subscribe. And also, if you want to support the channel, there's the gear. We got FightersRep shirts. We got masks now in the link below. Just click the link, purchase. You'll be helping me build the promotion by doing so. And also, if you donate to the Super Chat, that all gets reinvested right back into the promotion. It helps me build these kids up. Let's see here. Jorge Bagong. RGN's in the granite says, yup, LMAO. Jorge Bagong says, Usman said in the press that he will keep the fight standing. Yeah, right. RGN's in the granite says, that was horrible at ref not stopping the Aldo fight. He's a Hall of Fame first ballot. He wasn't thrown back, covered up. I agree. That was painful. That was painful to watch, RGN's. And RGN's in the granite is my boy. He's fought before. He's just a fighter. He's a fighting man, and he knows what we're talking about here, man. And most of the people that come into this chat, you guys are hardcore fight fans, you guys that tune in, man. And I know you appreciate what we're talking about here. UFC 251 is the worst referee judges. I think you're right, Bagang. Raw Dog says, lack of basic knowledge for the human anatomy. Agree, incompetent ref, says RGN's in the granite. Cheddar323 says, we in here, yo, but the main fight was boo-boo, and Holloway got robbed 100%. Right when that Holloway robbery happened, the whole fucking card went down the toilet after that. I don't know what happened. RGN's in the granite says, I was wrong with Masvidal. 6 days, Usman didn't hurt Masvidal. If he had 6 weeks, might have had more explosiveness. Max won first 3 rounds. Agreed 120%. George, like, subscribe. Thank you, my brother. New media taking L says, I hate the new UFC game. Clout chasing boxer putting AJ and Fury in the game. Dumb MMA chumps. That does sound stupid. I didn't know they did that. That's pretty stupid. RGN's in the granite. But, they're only doing that to attract more people, get them to buy the game. RGN's in the granite says, I'm the only one that hit like. Hit like for my friend, our friend with the F, hit the like button. They already think us Americans are lazy. Don't let it happen in this camaraderie on this channel. Thank you, my brother. Xavier says, Hug Fest. I agree with you. Hug Fest for real. Miguel Gonzalez says 3 out of 5 like Reyes versus Jones. Yup. But the Reyes versus Jones fight I actually thought was closer. I thought Max Holloway here clearly won the first 3 rounds. No question, man. Even hurting Volkanovski. He hurt him. He hurt the guy. Miguel agreed. Good fight like that, says RGN's in the granite. Faye Ahmed says, I watched it for free and still want my money. Still want my money back. Faye, you cheap bastard. RGN's in the granite says, I hear you, Faye. Mass Violence, Masvidal, my buddy. The Next Move podcast, my brother, he says 100% agree with what you're saying tonight. RGN's in the granite says, laugh my ass off, George. Stand-up comedy now, brother. Miguel Gonzalez says, preach. RGN's in the granite says, amen. Master Den says, I want my 30 minutes back. That was a bullshit 30 minutes. I could have done a lot with those 30 minutes. I could have done a lot. But, let's be honest. Overall, an entertaining card. Overall. And you know what? I like Uzdemir, man. But Uzdemir got laid out today by that kid from the Czech Republic, Jiří Procházka, I think his name was. Man, that was a vicious knockout. I don't know if you guys saw that. He caught him clean with a massive right hook. So there definitely was some entertainment on tonight's card. But man, that main event was, and that's money. I call out corruption all the time on this channel. All the time. I call out bullshit all the time. Because honesty sells. At least that's what my boy RGN's in the granite tells me. They tell me honesty sells. I don't know. I guess I'll sell at some point then. I got to call out bullshit. I mean, had they properly negotiated with Jorge Masvidal, not offered him bullshit for that fight, we would have had a full camp. We would have had a clear-cut determination on who the man is in the division. But instead we got this shit, man. We got this half-assed product because people want to be cheap. How are you going to be cheap, man? You're on fucking Yaz Island. These guys are driving Ferraris. You got an octagon on the beach. You got 8,000 COVID tests being administered. I mean, what do you... Masvidal is one of the top 3... biggest stars in the sport. If he wins this fight against Usman, he becomes the stuff of legend. If Masvidal won this fight against Usman tonight, he would have been as big a star as Conor and Khabib and all these guys. But guess what? You didn't give him that chance with your cheap bullshit, offering him less than half of what he got in the Nate Diaz fight for some bullshit BMF title. I think, I think this was a mistake. I think this is where being a cheap bastard came back to bite the UFC in the ass. And that's why, man, guys, you can't be fucking cheap with your business. You can't be cheap with the people around you, with the loyal people, with the people you could count on. You can't be cheap with them. You gotta take care of your people, guys. You gotta take care of your people. You gotta take care of your people. Listen to what I'm telling you here. If they would have taken care of Jorge Masvidal, who's willing to step up on 6 days' notice and take care of them, That's your people. You got to take care of your people. And you take care of your people by giving them the money they deserve or offering them something that makes sense and not playing this bullshit game. And now look, everybody hurts. Now they're trying to convince you that Usman is the greatest thing since sliced bread and he's tying George St. Pierre's record. Nobody gives. Listen, nobody gives a fuck, man. Usman is a boring guy to watch. The only good fight with Usman is that Colby fight because neither one of them is a great striker. They both said, fuck it, we're not wrestling. We're just going to pound each other's faces in. And that's why you got the fight that you got in Colby Usman. Besides that, he's going to do what you saw tonight. He's going to do this. Excuse me, sir. He's going to grab the leg. Oh, the leg here. And gently caress and squeeze underneath the knee and then pull it close to your breast and just hug it like that. And that's what you're going to get. You know, if that's what you guys want, fine. This is why I promote kickboxing. Watch any of my fights on this channel. Watch any of our fights on this channel. Every single the most boring fight on this channel is more exciting than that main event. 100%. 100%. Let's see here. Let's see. I lost myself. I went berserk again. Xavier says, Marty, hug you to death, Usman. Marty, hug you to death, Usman, man. Yep. Remind you of the Cormier-Silva fight. I guess a little bit, Damian Flores. Appreciate you joining, brother. And Xavier, that was funny. Master Den, you're a funny guy too. Arjans in the Grand says, George, I respect almost all fighters, but he was getting 3, 4, 5 pieces. Then Usman grabs him against the fence to rest. Right. Public school, that's right. Public school, Miami-Dade, where you got pizza with corn. Okay, I got pizza with corn every fucking Thursday of my life or every Friday. Pizza with buttered corn. And you know what? Pizza with corn is fucking delicious, okay? So if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. You must have went to some uppity fucking private school that your stepdad sent you to. Or your real dad, because you didn't even have a stepdad. Let me see here. The Next Move podcast, he's laughing at me. Thank you. I know. Cheddar323 says, LOL, is he talking about dry humping? Yes, Cheddar. We call that hunching. I need you to understand the terminology. Raw Dog says playing grab ass. Hunching for short. We're bringing back hunching. This is proper terminology. Add it to your lexicon. Hunching. Arjan's in the granite. No, LOL. Back to back. I want my time back. El Jefe says, worst fight ever, FightersRep. Not the worst fight ever. I've seen worse. You know, the worst fight ever was for me, because I went to see it live, but I didn't go just for that one. It was part of the rest of the card. I got to see. You could tell I went to a public school. I went to a public school in Miami-Dade. I got to see, who was it? Oh, yeah. Damian Maia fight John Fitch. Oh, my God. Damian Maia versus John Fitch, you guys. I want you guys, if you can even find Damian Maia versus John Fitch on YouTube, I want you to watch it if you have insomnia. If you have insomnia, I want you to watch it. MMA Pick says, I think that I only one who have Volkanovski. MMA Picks, you have Volkanovski? MMA Picks, you might have COVID. You need to go get your fucking eyes checked if you picked Volkanovski winning that fight. Either you need to get your eyes checked or there's something wrong with you. Maybe you've got COVID-20. Maybe you don't have COVID-19, brother. You got COVID-20, big dog. Cheddar323 says, what did you think of Paige Van Zandt lackluster performance? She ran in the octagon crying. Who gives a shit? RGN's on the Granite says, Jones is epic. Cheddar323 says, why do you have Volkanovski? 3, 4, and 5. Volkanovski won 3. Interesting. You should change your handle to, something without MMA in it if you think Volkanovski won that fight. Cheddar323 says, nah, maybe 4, 5. Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe 4, and 5. I'll give him 5. But 4, we're going to have to sit down and have a debate about 4. We're going to have to rent out a venue. We're going to have to get some easels, set up some graphs, pull out some statistics, go through the CompuBox, make sure the guys clicking the little button for the CompuBox, didn't have arthritis in their opposable thumbs. We're going to have to, really dig into it and figure out what happened there. Because, I'm not giving him 4 just like that. I'm saying he could have maybe won 4. 5 for sure, but 4 was a maybe. RGN's in the Granite. Fight Island, Salute Free, and Boston Metro and Data. RGN's, this isn't always about Boston, bro. This isn't always about Boston. You can't just run in here and make it about Boston all the time. Brian J says, I never watched UFC. Tuned in to watch a toe-stomping contest. Brian J, holy shit, that is hilarious. The worst thing, I want to say that even though that may not have been the worst fight I've ever seen, I saw the worst combo in my life. I'm going to display the combo for you guys. This is what I call the worst combo in the history of MMA, which Kamaru Usman did this evening. Here's the combo. Are you guys ready for it? So pretend, this is, the lion here is the cage. This is the combo. You stomp the foot. All right, you stomp the foot. Then you throw a cheesy shoulder strike but it's like a goofball, like I don't even know, somebody who's like got problems shoulder strike. So it's the stomp and then this, the goofiest shoulder strike, right? And then you follow that up. You follow that up with the pathetic right hook. Half of a right hook, since he couldn't even get his arm out, to the love handle. So it was like this: stomp, elbow, hook. And this is why the referee wasn't separating the action. He felt like this was sufficient action to keep the fight going. I'm going to show you guys the Kamaru Usman 3-piece. I'm going to call it the 3-piece and the Diet Coke. That's what I'm going to call it. No, the 3-piece and the LaCroix is what I'm going to call it. Here it is. You guys ready for the 3-piece and the LaCroix? Here it is. Stop. Shoulder strike. Half a hook. That's the 3-piece and the LaCroix. The LaCroix is when he gently caresses your thigh afterwards to take you down. That's the LaCroix. So the 3-piece, just so you guys know, the 3-piece, again, it starts with the foot stomp, then it's the shoulder shrug, and John Anik is there. He's trying to get you all hyped up, make you feel like Usman is a big fucking deal. He's trying to get you into it. Oh, that shoulder strike would make Conor McGregor proud. No, it wouldn't. Conor McGregor broke somebody's nose with the shoulder strike. This guy, basically combed over Jorge Masvidal's chest hair with his shoulder strike. There's a difference. So the Kamaru Usman, Kamaru Usman has basically changed the 3-piece and the soda to the 3-piece and the LaCroix. And it's the foot stomp, the gentle shoulder shrug, and the punch to the love handle, followed by the LaCroix, which is the leg caress. I haven't had my leg caressed in that fashion so gently since I went to I believe it was the Wynn in Las Vegas, where I went to the spa and had a fantastic masseuse. Hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it, and the like button. Don't be an asshole. And join Knucklehead Nation, and I greatly appreciate it. Let's see here. I'm sorry. I gotta, I had to get that out of me. MMA picks. I keep looking and I see MMA picks giving Volkanovski 3, 4, and 5, and it just, to know that there's a channel called MMA Picks, right? And they're giving Volkanovski the fight. That's like, what do I even compare that to? That's like, opening up a high-end, steakhouse, right? I open up a high-end steakhouse and I use, raccoon meat and roadkill. That's how I feel about a channel called MMA Picks giving Volkanovski that fight. And no offense, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm just telling you guys how I feel at this time. So let's see here. Brian J says, I never watched UFC, tuned in to watch toe stomping. So you're the one that sent me on that tangent there, Brian J, about the 3-piece and the LaCroix. And it's your fault. Julia Schmidt says, preach. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. Hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't already. Brian J says, boxing fan. I tuned in for Masvidal. I never want to watch Usman stomp toes ever again. Oh, my God. We need to give him a new nickname, man, for all that toe stomping and shoulder shrugging. Kamaru Shoulder Shrug Usman. Kamaru Toe Stomp. Kamaru Toe Jam Usman. I don't know. We got to come up with something. RGN's in the Grand says, brutally honest sells George. FightersRep is best fight show 4 times a week talking fighting. Support this channel. Hey, people, it's good karma. 8 million mass violence Masvidal got tonight guaranteed. My dear Watson says, Usman the toe crusher. I like it. It's not bad. Raw Dog says, I bet some of the reps working for the UFC get paid better than most of their roster. RGN's in the Granite says, and then he got 40% of pay-per-view sales. Everyone respects mass violence Masvidal now for sure. He should be double champ right now. Right, LMAO, says Xavier. Brian J says Usman is a pay-per-view toe stomper. Canelo knocks out Usman easy. I would love to see that. RGN's in the Granite says 1,000% pizza with nothing. Castiel Emmanuel says Marty is 100% the best hugger in the world. Didn't want to engage. And I won't even call it hugging. I would call that, again, straight up hunching. And you grab, but you have to gently LaCroix the leg. Arjun's in the Granite says pizza with nothing in Southwest Quincy, Boston. Brian J says, I'm from Hialeah. Oh my God. He's from Hialeah. Well then, I can definitely, me and you understand each other's pain eating pizza with corn, delicious pizza with corn every Thursday and Friday. My dear Watson says, Maya vs. Fitch fight is on YouTube, it appears. RGN's in the Granite is laughing at me. I don't know what else to tell you guys. You guys tune in on Monday. I'll be with Manny Robles as I usually am at 7 p.m. Tune in after all the big fights. This was a big fight. This is why I went live for you guys. We do this after every big fight. We get together. We talk about the fights. That was insane, man. That was insane. I was good. I was really good until that Volkanovski decision, and that's when I feel like it's like a bad girlfriend, or bad spouse. I mean, you're in a good mood. Everything's going great. You're having some drinks. Hey, the boys are over. Hey, oh, and we're having a good time. And then, she says or does some stupid shit. And that's what happened when these idiot judges said 50 to, I heard 50 to 45 twice in the Volkanovski Holloway fight. And I said, I said, here it comes. Here it comes. And before it happened, I put it on my Facebook. I said, here it comes. These people are scared. They don't want to give it away. They're not going to just give it away. You got to beat the champ. You got to beat the champ. You got to take the belt from the champ. And I knew it was going to happen. It's a small world, says RGN's at the Granite. Brian J says, Masvidal is McGregor, make it happen. Rules, no toe stomping or hugging or shoulder bumps. Man. Or love handle punches. And RGN's in the Granite says, laughing with you, George. I know you are, brother. I know you are. You're my boy. One of the few that understands me. STD scared to death. Guys, well, I mean, that's the good part about hunching is that, at that age, you could get it out without risking the STD. It was basically, protected humping. Guys, that's all I've got for you this evening. If you haven't already, support the channel. I got masks for you guys and links below. I got shirts. Whatever. Subscribe if you want. If not, I don't give a shit anymore. I'm building this kickboxing promotion, whether you like me or not. And hit the like button if you want to. If not, whatever. And that's all I've got for today. I really appreciate you guys joining me, though. I don't know. I was good. And then the 40 to 50, the 50 to 45 just messed me up. And then Usman. And I'm a Miami guy and whatever. I don't want to see my guy lose. But anyway, that's all I've got. You guys have a fantastic evening. Again, tune in Monday at 7. I'll be with Manny Robles. We'll be talking about boxing, but we'll also talk about this a little bit. Have a great night, guys.